Hello friends, welcome back to my channel and welcome to the Christmas vlog. So I did vlog a little over Christmas and a few days leading up to Christmas. So we are on the 21st here, just taking a shot of the Christmas tree. I love the Christmas tree when I first wake up because it's already on, which is so pretty. So I was making us some breakfast. I had this Canadian bacon that I had bought. So we thought we'd give that a try with some plant-based egg patties on an English muffin with some hash browns. Just basically a nice comfort kind of junk food breakfast, if you will. And while we were eating that, we watched Rudolph, which is one of my favorite old Christmas cartoons. Marley has definitely been enjoying all of the movie watching and things we've been doing lately because she gets lots of cuddle time. She's so sweet. So I had thrown my back out, so I had wanted to get a bunch of stuff done because I hadn't been able to do anything for quite a few days. So on this day I was making some meatballs. I'm using this Beyond Meat to make it. I've made these before. I don't really use a recipe, but I do just add in different spices and just mix it together. I don't really bother with breadcrumbs even most of the time. I just use a cookie scoop to make them all even, and fairly easy to make. So once I put those in the oven to bake, I wanted to start this cookie recipe. So these are called bird's nests. These are my grandma's recipe, and this is my mom's handwriting. And so I found it while I was cleaning out her apartment after she passed away, and I laminated it so I could preserve it. But this is one of my favorite cookies that my grandma makes. I think she's been making it since the 50s, and they just remind me of Christmas because she always made them then. So I was trying to make them and veganize them. I've tried it before. They never come out as good as hers, so but they did taste fairly well. So I just use a little measuring spoon to kind of make the indentation for the jam parts. They're really easy to make. You just I don't know. Anyway, they definitely spread out more than hers do, and they got a little bit darker. So I don't know. I'm gonna just keep trying to make them as close to hers as I can. But they did turn out really good. And then I did make a dip for vegetables, for a vegetable tray, just raw veggies. It's ranch style, and I just used some plant-based yogurt and sour cream and some plant-based mayo. Turned out great. Then I also made the classic 1950s French onion soup dip with dip mix and sour cream. And John had gone to the grocery store and got some produce that we needed, so I was very thankful he did that. He also picked up some cheese too. So we've got some feta that I was going to make some pasta with, and then just a few different types of cheese to make cheese and cracker tray. And then he also picked up some vegan sour cream as well. And so I just got the pasta. I started to get that ready right away. And we had found this plant-based ravioli a few days prior, which we were really excited to try. So I decided to make that for dinner and use the feta pasta sauce as the sauce for it. So got that ready. Cut up vegetables for that, and then I'd also baked off cookies from the freezer that I had made the week before, or maybe 2 weeks before. So we would have fresh cookies for Christmas. And then I took a little break with Marley because I had been in the kitchen for hours at this point, doing a bunch of stuff and cleaning and doing dishes as I went. She was excited for that. So after my little break was over, I went in and I cut up all the produce for the vegetable tray. I'm just reusing old trays from the past. And then I also made us a little side garden salad for dinner at the same time. And then I decided to start cutting up the cheese. And I'm just cutting that up and putting it into a tray that I'm reusing as well from a lot of years ago. I think nuts might have come in it originally. And then our dinner is coming along lovely. This is honestly one of my favorite things. So I'm sauteing some of the vegetables, and then I'm adding in the spinach as well. And it was a really lovely dinner. It was actually really good. It's a little expensive, so I don't know that I would buy it a lot, but it was nice to have something different. And then later that night, instead of watching a movie, we were watching something called Muppet Family Christmas, which came out in the 80s. I feel like not that many people know about it 'cause it's not that popular, but it's one of our favorites, and it has like the Muppets in it, but it also has like all the Sesame Street characters and the Fraggles. So I don't know, it's like it has so much childhood nostalgia. And I was having some of the Christmas punch I made with the onion chip dip as well, which was so good. So on this day, John actually went into the office. He works from home normally, but they were having like a little Christmas thing at the office, so they, asked him if he wanted to come in. They told him he didn't have to, but so he had to leave it because the office is like an hour and a half from where we live now. So he had to leave like pretty early in the morning, like a little after 6. Marley, for some reason, started going crazy after he left. So she was rolling around on the stairs for a while. But yeah, so while he was gone, I wanted to get a bunch more stuff done as far as like cooking and baking and stuff. So I got out my Pyrex double boiler and melted some chocolate to cover some homemade peanut butter balls and also some like homemade chocolates that I had made. I don't remember if I made them like before this or the day before, or I just didn't film it, but peanut butter balls, I love them. They're so good. Same with the chocolates. So I made like coffee flavored chocolates using instant coffee, and then I had made strawberry ones just using like real strawberries. They're just so tedious to like dip all of them. I always like dread it, but it actually didn't go. I always like put it off because I'm not looking forward to doing it, but once I actually like started doing it, it didn't go too bad. But the strawberry ones always give me a hard time because they're really soft, so they don't look the prettiest, but they taste amazing. And I had asked John to look for these 2 products while he was down like where we used to live at the office, so he was able to find them, which was very exciting. This is the plant-based queso, and the applewood cheddar is my favorite vegan cheese, I think. And then we were both really hungry by the time he got home, so I just made us a very like easy, lazy dinner of some potatoes wedges, and then I just put some vegetables over them and some of that vegan queso, and then just some regular cheese, and they were amazing. So then John was actually gone dog sitting on this night as well, so it's not sad though. Technically I'm not really alone for Christmas because he's dog sitting like in our neighborhood, so he's able to come home a whole bunch, but technically he was not like sleeping there, so it was just me and Marley hanging out, and then we were going to watch a movie like remotely, so John was watching it where he was at the same time as me. I was trying to get Marley to play with the elastic, but she just wasn't having it. She's like deep in bath mode. But yeah, the movie that we decided to watch was Miracle on 34th Street, the original, my favorite. I've actually never even seen the 1994 version, believe it or not. I just have no desire to see it because I just feel like the first one's perfection. But I like to save like some of my favorites till closer to Christmas, so I was excited to watch that movie makes me feel so festive and so excited for Christmas. And so since John is in the neighborhood, he can just like walk to the house. He comes down in the morning for coffee, and I made us some breakfast again, and then he had to go and walk the dog, and so he texted me when he was outside so I could see her. I'd met her before, but she's a really sweet dog. So while he was out doing that, I was getting all of the chocolates that I had made organized into a tin, and I had just like labeled them by the little cups that I put them in. And then we had bought like some store-bought ones too that I added in as well, but then that way they're all together in a container. It's just easier, I guess. So I spent some time doing all that. And then John was going to come down and spend a few hours over the course of the evening. So I made a little snack for us, just some vegetables and dip and some cheese and crackers with some pepperoni and pickles. And I have these like vintage like hors d'oeuvre set, so I used that spoon in the dip. But I have a few more too that I didn't show, but I just love them. It's like, I love these little cocktail forks in particular. I didn't end up using them, but they were right next to the hors d'oeuvre set, so I just thought I would show them. I think I might have shown these before in videos, but they're just like so 60s. And then of course we're having more punch. It's so good. And we've been listening to lots of Christmas records. It's such a vibe being able to put on Christmas music like from a record. I decided on this compilation record, mostly because Dean Martin is the first song on it, but no, it's a good mix on this one. I tend to listen to this one quite a bit. So we just spent a few hours hanging out, eating our snack food, which is amazing. We're like very big on snacks in our house, especially during the holidays. And then we decided to watch a movie. This is one of my favorite movies. I think it's 1979. It's a made-for-TV movie called The Man in the Santa Claus Suit, and it stars Fred Astaire, and I believe it was his last film role. And I love it so much. I just discovered it probably within the last 5 years or so, but now I think I watch it every year since I discovered it. It's just so great. It's actually on YouTube. Someone's uploaded it on there. That's how I found it. So here we are, finally Christmas Eve has come. So I woke up at a reasonable hour, actually after 4 and not at 3 a.m. So I was happy about that. But since we were alone, because John was dog sitting, it was just me and Marley in here, I decided to turn the little tree on in the bedroom and watch a movie in bed. So I decided to watch Beyond Tomorrow because I knew this one was on YouTube, so I wouldn't have to get up and like find a DVD or VHS. So I feel like this is another one that not that many people know about, but it's a good movie, I think. And it's on YouTube for free. I think it's like 1940 maybe 1939. Marley did not make it through the movie. She's so cute. Oh, she's so adorable. I'm trying to like soak in all of the moments with Marley because she's almost 18, so I know that she's not going to be here like too much longer probably, but she's healthy and everything now, so I mean, I'm grateful for that, but I'm also just trying to soak in the moments with her. And then I went downstairs after that was over, and I was delighted to see that it had started snowing Christmas Eve. Just amazing. Snow was in the forecast, so I mean, it wasn't a total shock, but you never know how the weather's going to change. So I was very excited. It had already started. So John was coming down for coffee as usual. So I decided to make us a big breakfast because it was Christmas Eve. So I had like sausage and bacon and eggs. It's all plant-based, by the way. Had some OJ as well. And we were going to watch a movie. So we were watching Christmas Vacation, which is one of my favorites. I love when the like stickers are still on it from like the video stores. This one actually has a Blockbuster on the back. I love watching this movie. Like I love saving it until like Christmas Eve day or Christmas Day. It's just one of my favorite modern Christmas films. I love watching it with John's dad though, so sometimes I watch it earlier than that if there's an opportunity to watch it with John's dad because he loves it too, and just like hearing him laugh just makes me laugh. So I love the little like cartoon at the beginning of it though. It's so cool. So after we finished watching that, we had to do like a post office run, so I had a couple of orders that I had to pack. So I sold this stoneware cream and sugar set, and then I also sold this like rainbow heart mug. So I was actually kind of surprised that I was still making sales that late before Christmas, but we've pretty much had to do a postal run like every day. But while I was packing up there, I looked at the window and I noticed quite a bit more snow had come down, which made me feel excited. And I thought I should get dressed for the day and wear something festive. I haven't really worn Christmas sweaters or anything. I haven't even really felt like it's Christmas. It's weird. Anyway, I decided this black like reindeer heart sweater. I love this blue one with the flamingo on it though. But I didn't end up wearing it at all this year. But I thrifted that a few years ago, and I thrifted this tree one, but I think I wore that one to the Charlie Brown play. So I went with the black one, and I was gonna wear my Charlie Brown sweatshirt like on Christmas. And then I decided I should put on some festive earrings. So I have these little like reindeer earrings, so I put those on. And we were watching It's a Wonderful Life, which is like a tradition in my family to watch that on Christmas Eve. We like to watch it more like in the afternoon, because I like to watch other things on Christmas Eve, but this to me is like the ultimate Christmas movie, and we're doing something different this year because I'd found this DVD, and for the first time in my life, after watching this movie probably every Christmas of my life, I'm watching it in color, which I was a little bit nervous to do, but I was like, well, we should just do it, get it over with. If we don't like it, we don't ever have to watch it in color again. But I was actually pleasantly surprised. It wasn't that bad. I think I still prefer black and white, probably just because that's what I'm used to, and I don't know, normally I'm not a big fan of colorizing movies, but I think they actually did do a good job on it. So it was much better than I was expecting it to be. But I love this movie so much. It's like so special to me. It's what I think about when I think about Christmas. I immediately think about that movie. So after the movie got over, John had to go up and spend some time with Lulu and take her for a walk and stuff. So I was making I wanted to make like cocktail meatballs with the meatballs I made. Now, every recipe that I found involved grape jelly or ketchup, which I wasn't feeling either of those things, nor did I have those things. So I just kind of made up my own version of that. I used some tomato paste in lieu of ketchup and some pineapple juice. And they turned out really good. And I was baking the wings as well that I had made earlier, like last week or something. So I got out a full kind of snack spread for us for our Christmas Eve. We're pretty much just like grazers during the holidays on snacks, but that's just what we like to do. So while we were grazing on our snacks, I put on some Christmas music. So I have a playlist on my channel, but lately, within the past few years, they've been making like cartooned versions of old classic Christmas songs, and they're so cute. I'm not sure if it's the same people making all of them, but there's a ton of them now. I put them all into a playlist so that I could just play them on the old TV, and it was just so cool seeing all these little cartoons and hearing the Christmas music and it being on the old 70s TV. I don't know, it was a vibe. So we were just had that playing in the background while we were hanging out and snacking. I especially like that they've done cartoon versions like of the singers themselves and put them into the videos. I especially love the Eartha Kitt, Santa Baby, and then also there's quite a few Bing ones, but yeah, it's just really neat. So after we let that playlist play through, another one of my favorites to watch on Christmas Eve or close to it is the Dean Martin show Christmas special with the Sinatras. I think it's like Christmas with the Martins and Sinatras. It's Dean Martin and all his kids and Frank Sinatra and all his kids, and it's just like I don't know, they don't really make them anymore, I feel like, but kind of like a variety singing Christmas show. They were really popular in the 60s and 70s, and I just love them so much. This one is probably one of my favorites, along with the Judy Garland one, which I didn't get to watch this year, but I just love it. It's so great. I watch it pretty much every year, I think, on Christmas Eve. We always open a gift on Christmas Eve as well, and John gave me this pair of slippers, which I was very excited for. I just actually asked if I could open them because I wear slippers like every day, and so I wear them out. So usually I'm in need of new slippers by Christmas, which I got a few pairs of. So after we opened our gift, then we started watching some of the classic Christmas cartoons. That's what I like to do on Christmas Eve, like before bed. So we're watching Frosty and the Grinch and Charlie Brown Christmas, of course. It's like one of my faves. I actually have the original like 1965 airing, which I treasure and cherish. I don't know if you can still find it online. Somebody had sent the link to me years ago, and I downloaded it right away because I figured it would get taken down. I know I tried to send it to somebody after that and it wasn't up anymore, so I don't know, someone might have put it back up, but I found it on like the Internet Archive, or like the person sent the link to me that was on the Internet Archive. So I very like treasure that. The color looks really bad in comparison to like the restored version, but I just love it so much. And my favorite Christmas cartoon is Mickey's Christmas Carol. I watch this every year. It's like the last thing I watch before I go to bed on Christmas Eve. Just brings me all the feels. And here we've got a little shot of the back here to show how much snow had come down, and it was still kind of snowing as well, so it made me really happy. So then I went upstairs and turned on the Christmas tree up there, and then I thought, you know, I should just watch something while I'm like falling asleep. So I decided to watch the Christmas episode of the like HGTV like Brady renovation show. I think it came out in like 2019 maybe. I love it so much because I'm a huge fan of the Brady show. But they filmed like a Christmas episode, which was amazing. And so I watched that. They like decorate the house, and I'm super sad I never ended up watching A Very Brady Christmas, which was like a TV movie from the 80s. But we'll watch that next year. So now it is Christmas. I actually slept in. I'd woke up and then I ended up getting back to sleep. So I was going to watch Meet Me in St. Louis, which is what I usually do when I wake up early on Christmas morning. But since I woke up at like a reasonable hour, I didn't bother with that. But Marley was taking her Christmas bath. So the first thing I did was turn on all of the Christmas lights. So I turned on this tree in the upstairs because I knew John would see it when he was walking down. And I turned the one on in the bedroom again, and I went downstairs and turned on all the like window lights, and the tree was already on, but I started the coffee brewing and then continued on. So I turned everything on in the dining room as well. It was just so magical because it was still so dark out, and it was just nothing but all the Christmas lights on in the house. And then I thought I should light some candles as well, because then it would smell good in there. This candle's bugging me because it keeps like only 2 will stay lit and then the other one won't, so it's all uneven. But it's almost gone, thankfully. And then I decided to light this festive berries candle, which I'm actually sad I hadn't lit earlier in the year because it smelled so good. So I'm gonna look out for that next year if I can find a bigger one. But I just lit that one in the kitchen, so that it was close enough to the time when John was coming down, so I just waited. But I wanted to take one final shot of the tree with all the presents under it. And then I wanted to put some Christmas music on, but I didn't want to put records on because while we were opening gifts, I didn't want to have to keep getting up and changing the records. So I just went to Sirius. I used this old phone because it's old, so it has like a headphone jack, so I can plug it into the record player and it will play through the record player. So I just went to Sirius, and they have I think it's called Christmas Traditions or something, but they play 40s, 50s, and 60s Christmas music, so it's like the perfect mix for me. And then John got there right after I finished doing that, and it was really cute because Marley never does this, but Marley ran right out into the entryway and jumped up on the bench to greet him, so it was really cute. So we just took a few minutes to take all the presents out from under the tree and put them on the coffee table in front of us so that we wouldn't have to keep getting up, or that we wouldn't have to sit on the floor, because I don't know, once you reach a certain age, sitting on the floor is just like not something that you want to do. It's just not comfortable. And it might look like it's a lot of presents, but we actually thrift like 80% of our gifts, so we don't actually spend a lot of money at all on Christmas. But this was definitely more than we've had like for a few years, so it actually did take us a while to open them all before we were done. We do stockings too. That's actually my favorite, is stockings. We use these stockings. They're probably from like the 80s maybe. They're like these quilted ones, maybe early 90s. I have these vintage like 70s felt ones, but I'm like so afraid to use them. But I've decided, I think for next year I am going to use them. So then after we were all done making or opening gifts, I made us breakfast, and then we started watching some more Christmas cartoons. I really like the It's Christmas Time Again, Charlie Brown's. We're watching that one first. We're like super chill on Christmas. Like, we don't really want to go anywhere and do anything, or I don't know. It's all about relaxation to me. Like, I just want to stay in my pajamas on Christmas and chill, and Marley definitely feels those vibes. And then I put on the Garfield Christmas, which I love as well. This was one of my favorites when I was a kid. I think it came out in like the late 80s maybe. I loved Garfield though when I was a kid. And then John had to go and spend some time with Lulu and take her for a walk. And you can see it is like full snowing out there for Christmas, which is such a mood. So while John was gone for a while with Lulu, I decided to show you like some other things. I posted my vintage Christmas gifts in a separate video, but I thought I would show you some of the other things I got. So I got this Turner Classic Movies 52 Essential Movies book. I am obsessed with the Turner Classic Movie books. I think they're so well done. I want to eventually get all of them. And then he also gave me this, like, I think you give these to people normally like as birthday cards. He had actually bought this for me and like forgot about it, so he found it while he was finding all my Christmas gifts, so he just put it in my stocking. But I love these. Like, I especially love looking at like the cost of things or like the vintage ads. I don't know, it was just neat. This like Atari at-home computer ad was such a throwback as well. It reminded me like when I was really young, my dad had a Commodore computer that we would play games on. It's so retro. So some of the other things that I got were these salt and pepper shakers. I don't think they're vintage. I think they're just meant to look vintage, like vintage, you know, spice and then vanilla extract, but I thought they would match really well with my kitchen. And then we've got this little, I guess this probably is vintage, this little A&W Christmas ornament. I love it so much. I used to work at A&W a long time ago, so I thought that was super cute. And then he also thrifted this Cary Grant box set, which I'm very excited about. I don't think I have any of these movies currently on VHS, so that was kind of cool to find that. And these are not vintage, but I think they're meant to look vintage. Like, they have a barcode on the bottom, so they're obviously not like actually that old, but I think they're super cute and very festive, so I was very excited about these. These came from that shop that I did a walkthrough like quite a few months ago. And then I got some new socks, which I was also very excited about. And it's funny, I gave John socks for Christmas too, and we were joking about how when you're an adult, like things like getting socks for Christmas is exciting. So I got another pair of slippers, and then I also got this Lucy magazine, which I'm so excited to read. I just recently listened to Turner Classic Movies, The Plot Thickens podcast, and one of their seasons was entirely dedicated to Lucy, and it was so good. I learned like so much that I didn't already know about, and so I'm excited to like read this. I also have her biography. I think I'm going to read that soon too. I also got a whole bunch of Body Shop body butters, which is very exciting, so I'm well stocked on that now. So now I think I put on like the Flintstones Christmas. I think that's what this is. Basically, we were just kind of chilling in the living room all day watching mostly cartoons. And for food, we were just eating more snacks. I actually don't like having Christmas dinner on Christmas. Usually I have it the next day. I just don't want to spend Christmas in the kitchen cooking. I also don't even really care that much about Christmas dinner. Like, it's not really my favorite kind of food. A lot of years we'll have Chinese food or something like that. We did have a more traditional this year, which you'll see. I filmed that for the next day, but that was just a final shot of the Christmas tree on Christmas. And then from the bedroom window, I took this shot of all of the snow outside, so I want to remember that. I'm just so excited that it was a white Christmas. It's like one of the things that I really wish for during the holiday season. So now we're on Boxing Day, waking up with Marley Bear. She's so cute. She was, whenever it's just me here by myself, she always sleeps in the bed with me. So John was coming down for coffee and breakfast, and I was trying to decide what to make. So we had this like round bacon still, and that made me think of eggs Benedict, so I decided to try making that. It came out really good, actually. I've never made it before, and I've only actually ever had it one time at a restaurant I used to work at, but it turned out really good, and John actually really liked it too, which I didn't think he was going to, so that was pleasant. And our Boxing Day tradition over the past few years has been to watch the movie Office Space, which we both love, and I had never actually seen it until we watched it one day on Boxing Day. It just happened to come on TV, so now we kind of just watch it every Boxing Day, and it's become a tradition. But it's so funny, like so funny. So funny. I think this came out in like the year 2000, maybe late 90s. Jennifer Aniston is in it too, but even just this opening scene where he's stuck in traffic is just hilarious, and it hasn't gotten any less funny to me like over the years of watching it. But we watched that while we ate breakfast, and then later it was time to get Christmas dinner started. So I make a pretty easy Christmas dinner because it's just the two of us, but I'd made these roasts prior to this day. They're just made out of like something called wheat gluten, which is a popular thing that vegans use. So anyway, they were just in the freezer, so I had taken them out the day before. So I used the rice paper to make like a skin over them. It's the first time I did that, but it did turn out really well. And we really like Brussels sprouts, so I just did the whole bag of Brussels sprouts. I cut them in half and roast them in the oven. It's like the best way. And I put onion powder and garlic powder over top, and it's just perfect. And then I had bought some gluten-free stuffing and some regular stuffing, and then we're just doing instant mashed potatoes. I actually don't really like mashed potatoes, but I can eat instant mashed potatoes occasionally. Usually I'd make a different kind of potato, but John does really like mashed potatoes, so I decided to do that. So it's pretty easy because all you really have to do is like add water to these things. So I just kind of got it all set up while the roasts were in the oven. We're just doing some canned gravy too, and then I just added some dried cranberries to my stuffing. We don't like cranberry sauce, like neither one of us, and John doesn't like cranberries, period, so I just added those in, so that's the cranberry part of the meal, I guess. The roast turned out amazing, and we have tons of leftovers, which is nice, because I don't really feel like cooking over the holidays. And we're having a glass of punch with our dinner. And then I just took one final shot of the snow that had come down. It's a little bit had gone away by this point, and then you can see the lights lit up, and I don't know, it was a good Christmas. It didn't really feel that Christmassy to me for some reason. I don't know why. It wasn't like bad or anything, but I definitely had a good Christmas, and I hope all of you had a good Christmas as well. And I just want to say thank you for being here and for watching, and for all of my new subscribers this year. I'm just really excited, and I just want to say thank you. So I'll see you again soon.